Hello and welcome to another awesome episode of the Weekly Wednesday Warrior, sponsored by PAL Card Games and Comics in Port Ewan, New York. I am Skylar Hathaway.
I'm Chris Potter. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about Moon Knight 23, Joker number 8, and Batman 900, or 125?
Whatever you want to call it.
135.
More specifically, Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 8.
Yeah.
These are titles that have been on this show over and over and over again. And the reason that they've been on this show over and over and over again are because they're damn good comics to read.
Yeah.
We don't put stuff on this show that we don't want to read. We don't put stuff on this show that we don't read ourselves. These guys are probably going to keep showing up. And, you know, the reason should be obvious at this point if you've been watching the show and stuff. But in any case, we got Moon Knight. I think all three of these have, like, easily summaryable stuff. Oh, before we get into Moon Knight, you got any honorable mentions this week? I don't think I have a single one.
Yeah, shout out to Shazam by Mark Waid and Dan Moore. That's another team that appears in the show. We're just not big Shazam fans, so we're not going to cover that book. But
Right.
it was pretty good.
Right. And I lied. I have two. I have The Adventures of Superman, John Kent book by Tom Taylor.
Okay.
And then the last MMPR TMNT sequel book, the second installment, number 5, which was by Ryan Parrott and Dan Mora on the art. We love that Dan Mora.
Yeah, he's really good.
That Dan Mora. So that's enough honorable mentions. Moving right along, we got Moon Knight 23. I'm gonna handle a summary right here because this is definitely the easiest out of the three of them.
Yeah.
Moon Knight meets up with Dylan Brock at the Midnight Mission. That's the name of the thing, right?
Yep.
The Midnight Mission is the place that Moon Knight's kind of coordinating, and also the name of his crew and his group and stuff, which includes Tigra, who's in the last issue, focus of the last issue. And Dylan's got a problem. He needs a professional to help him solve it.
Yes.
Some reason Eddie Brock instructed Dylan to go to Moon Knight at some point. Don't know why.
Eddie told Dylan that Mark understood them to some extent. He knows what it's like to be thought of as unreliable because you're crazy.
Name
and has like a
5 times Venom and Moon Knight have been in the same room.
They mentioned the one time they've been in the same room in this book, and that's when Mark fights Mark Gargan's Venom when he was Venom during the Norman Osborn. What's the other night called?
I think he straight up says that. I thought it was Norman with the Venom symbiote.
No, it's Matt Gargan.
Okay, I believe it.
Norman is the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time. He has his own group of Avengers.
He definitely mentions Norm
Yeah.
in process of talking about it.
Siege is what I'm thinking.
But in any case, Venom and Moon Knight have zero history in comics, really.
Yeah.
Realistically.
And that's really what this issue is giving them a relationship, probably for later in the run.
Yeah, there's almost no other purpose though to this particular issue other than establishing this relationship between the symbiote and Moon Knight.
Yeah.
And Dylan and Moon Knight, I guess, as well. I know where I'm going with the summary, but I was going somewhere about like Blade has showed up in this comic book.
Yeah.
Tigra showed up in this comic book. Spider-Man? I think even Spider-Man showed up in this comic book at some point.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
No, even still, Blade's pretty easy to swallow when it comes to Moon Knight, right?
Yeah, vampire,
like,
and he's dealing with vampires.
that's like not that far off. Tigra, really easy to swallow because we know the relationship there. Hawkeye, even easy to swallow. West Coast Avengers, stuff like that. Venom's been the hardest pill so far, I think. And I ain't saying that this issue is like difficult to read or anything. I'm just saying because there's no established relationship between the two of these, them kind of saying that there is on some level is a little like, alright, I guess.
Yeah.
They're both semi-street level. Okay, Eddie Brock lives in New York most of the time. Okay, we're in. We're strapped in. Dylan is being chased by 4 no-name Marvel villains. I didn't bother to look them up.
Yeah.
For all I know, McKay made all 4
The
of
team
them
is
up.
called the New Enforcers.
Yeah, and they're made up
Whoever
of...
those are.
It's made up of, I got the list here, Tangle, Eel, Thermite, and Blitz, which sound like names that somebody made up just for this issue. And so Moonlight's like, yeah, I can help you, kid. Let me show you how to kick some butt.
Yeah.
Dylan totally knows how to kick butt by now. So, but anyway, he's only been Venom for 10, 20 issues, something like that.
Yeah.
In any case, who knows if McKay's reading the Venom run? He even knows he must be on some level to know that Dylan Brock is Venom. So
yeah, and that
paying attention.
What's been happening to Eddie too.
Yeah, that's all. They've also mentioned that too. So they go, they kick butt, they leave the midnight mission. Mark shows them the ropes. There's 3 really sweet splash pages, and a 4th splash page with just Venom on it. But the 3 that I'm talking about have Moon Knight and Venom on it. And speaking of that, I didn't really like the way Alessandro Cappuccio drew Venom.
I thought it was sick.
Okay.
So I thought all those pages were cool. I thought
his tongue was doing weird stuff all the time.
Yeah, for me it was the teeth that was a little weird sometimes. How they draw the teeth.
And I know they're moving away from that spider symbol on them too. I know they're trying to get away from that. Even though the cover here, which gives us an opportunity to hold up these covers that we didn't do.
I have the Cappuccio one, I think.
Your cover shows they aren't trying to leave that at all.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who this was, but I really like this cover. I want to say it's Declan Shalvey, but it totally is Declan Shalvey. I'm good.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine they've been trying to get away from that. In interiors you can see it. Exteriors, that's not clear at all.
No.
So and I like the exterior Venom on there a lot. I don't know who does that cover. I'd assume it was Cappuccio as well, but it doesn't look like Cappuccio's Venom on that cover at all.
No,
so that might have been
much more standard.
That might have been an art direction from the person who was, maybe he did draw it like he does in the book, and they told him, no. That's not cover Venom. That's interior Venom.
Yeah.
So, in any case, I ain't here to complain about art or anything.
Yeah. I think Ryan Stegman is the only person who can make the chains on the arms look cool. I think I've seen it drawn by Hitch. I've seen it drawn by Cappuccio now. I think it just looks goofy.
I didn't even notice that on the cover.
It is there.
I liked the first Venom splash with the
that was
chains.
sick.
That was really good. I'll pull that one up real quick. So they fight up. So they fight some dudes. They beat the dudes. Venom and Dylan Dylan, Venom, and Mark start talking, and Mark's like, "You could have handled these guys no problem. Why did you even why are they even here? Why'd you come to me?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, you're probably right any normal day, but there's been something that's driving my symbiote crazy.
No.
All across the city has been using a tuning fork for this thing, some sound thing I can't get just is bothering the heck out of me." And Mark's like, "A sound thing, huh?" Because he's been chasing down sound relative villains for 3 or 4 issues. And that's just one of them, right? There might be Sarnak.
I think he's the figurehead.
It could be Karnak. Something like that. C-A-R, C-A-K or whatever. N-A-K. And so Mark's like, "Oh, wow, can I use you as a homing beacon?"
Yeah.
And so he uses them like a hound dog to find the sound terrorist, and they come across this Sarnak guy again, who's the dude who looks like Mask of the Phantasm that I made a point to mention 2 issues ago. I don't remember if that actually made it to the show or not. That might have been the episode where we only did Thor, and then it cut off. So in any case, there's this Mask of the Phantasm looking dude that uses sound to terrorize human beings. And so Venom finds him for Mark. Mark goes and tries to take him down, but he's in a protected poke glass kind of area and stuff. And he's like, "Ha ha ha! You can't get me!" And Mark's like, "Darn!" And then the issue ends, more or less. He tells Dylan Brock, the dude gives himself up to the cops. The cops show up. He called the cops on himself. And in the poke box, he's safe for Mark until the cops show up, take him out of the poke box. And then Mark's got to leave with Venom because they can't stick around for the cops. So Mark and Venom, they have their ending little thing. They talk to each other real quick, and they're like, "All right, if you need any help, come on down. I'm always here for you." And Dylan's like, "Cool, bud. Thanks a lot."
Yeah.
And then the issue ends, right?
Yeah.
You got anything to mention there?
Yeah, I think this issue, like we talked about, Moon Knight and Moon Knight and Venom don't have a particularly strong relationship, but I think they do build a lot of parallels between the two of them throughout the issue. I think McKay does a really good job of that. There's a very specific page where Dylan is describing being hunted and prodded with needles and that his dad's dying, and they're showing flashbacks to Mark Spector's life as Dylan's explaining his life.
Oh, I couldn't tell who was in that last panel on that page.
That was
who
Mark.
was wrapped up. That makes a lot of sense. I'll pull that page up.
I thought that was really good of McKay. I imagine he's establishing a relationship for later in the run. He's going to need Venom at some point or something.
Right.
Maybe he just did it for fun. I can't see that. I thought this was a really good way to bring the two characters together. And I really like the last line of the book. Dylan is talking to Mark about how he can tell he's trying to better himself. He's always trying to get better, and that's a lot like his dad. But Dylan's dad was just killed, and he's like, that's what got him killed. Like, he's trying to be a better person.
Yeah, and that's
so
what
he's sort of warning Mark, I guess.
That's what Dylan knows of his father, too, which I'd argue is a bad description of Eddie Brock. I don't know Eddie Brock as a character who's ever trying to get better. I don't think he was ever sick. I just think he's kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
I think that's how they've been writing him recently. I think Donny Cates definitely wrote him as someone with like a sickness because of Venom. It's driving him crazy. But
on page 1, there's a statue of Khonshu in the background of Mark Spector's first panel. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
That statue of Khonshu is the same statue of Khonshu that he passes when he gets his powers back in the Bill Sienkiewicz Doug Mensch run. Almost drawn exactly the same. So that was awesome to see by Alessandro Cappuccio. That I don't think we've seen that statue. Have you seen that statue?
I think it was the one when
You might have seen it once. Now I'm thinking about
it.
There was a story based around it or something, right?
Yeah, the David Finch art, Charlie Houston written one. Mark kind of praised that statue because he's not been moving forever.
No, yeah. Well, no, I mean in this run, have we tackled the statue much at all? I think we've seen it in the background once or twice, but that statue's super important to Moon Knight. Yeah, what'd you think of that grappling hook shot that he did to one of those villains?
Oh, that was cool.
Like, because in the panel, I'll pull it up, there was like, you see this giant grappling hook get like shot at
and
him.
It looks really small
and it's
when
tiny.
It hits him.
Yeah, it's absolutely tiny.
It hits him in the throat.
It was like there was almost no jokes in this comic, so I feel like that was their opportunity.
Yeah, that's almost a visual gag.
Let's throw us a bone real quick, keep them laughing. Mark doesn't think twice about working with the child.
No.
He just runs in, does not give a single shit that like this kid's probably like 13 or something.
Yeah, well, he's mentioned like when he fought the symbiote, and he's like, yeah, I know this is like a force of nature that like you shouldn't mess with. I imagine if anything's going to protect a 13-year-old, it'll be this. I don't think he feels any worry for Dylan.
No, but I don't think somebody like Peter would go, yeah, Dylan, come with, or Cap would go, yeah, Dylan, come with.
Yeah.
You know, Mark is a man of questionable morals and ethics.
Yeah, I would go as far as call him amoral.
Yeah, so that's definitely a portion going on there. And then, did you catch this thing? He says, I've seen this before in Alexandria. It's something Mark says in there. Do you know what he's talking about?
I think it...
Is Alexandria a place we were in earlier in this run that I've since forgot about?
No, I think it's just playing back to his archaeologist/mercenary roots.
Right, because I made that association. I was like, oh, well, like... that dude Alex the Great ruled over Egypt, right? Yeah. So there's probably a city over there called Alexandria. It would make sense and play to the stuff, Egyptian myth and stuff. Man, that's about it I got for this issue. I thought it was good, but I thought it was probably one of the. I don't ever want to use the word lacking here, but not as strong as the other issues that have came, because this issue felt like. And you've basically been saying it. There's a purpose why we're doing this issue, may not be clear as of yet. And so, since that's the case, how weighty?
And again, I feel like this is an issue for Cappuccio more than for McKay, because there's a ton of splash pages, more than I think there have been in issues. There's like 5. I think there's like 5.
4, minimum 4, possibly 5.
And they're all just cool action shots of Venom and Moon Knight.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say they waste space, but when you're doing splash pages for pretty much just jumping across the city, not a lot's actually happening.
Yeah.
You do get less story room in there. This is just a cool issue.
And there's plenty of space utilized on what would effectively be Marvel team-up panels.
Yeah, this is a Marvel team-up issue. The cover is even Venom and Moon Knight, not just Moon Knight.
Yeah. It was fun. It was funner than Moon Knight usually is. It was not as deep or as crazy plot-driven, but it was fun.
Yeah.
And I could take a fun book every now and then.
One thing I forgot to mention, I really appreciate the editor's note early on. I appreciate that they're doing those. It's just a reference to Venom Ms. Marvel, which I didn't even know was a thing.
Yeah, it's such a weird... I have to assume that McKay wrote that one shot for some reason on top of that. That's why he's bringing this back around. He's got a habit of doing that, right?
Yeah.
Moving on to the comedian.
I think that's fine. Yeah.
Let's move it along. We got some covers. We got some dope covers.
Yeah.
I've got this Clayman cover. I don't know if Chris has even seen this.
That's pretty sweet.
Right?
Yeah. The film is really nice.
This is sweet. That
I
cover
got
is
the
sweet.
D-shirt.
Di Giandomenico.
Yeah.
Giandomenico. We're probably both butchering that. But in any case, Rosenberg, Di Giandomenico, Francavilla, back on the title.
Yeah.
This book was really, really good, but funny enough, I got maybe a quarter a page of notes on the A story, and then half a page or almost a full page of notes on the B story.
Okay.
So this was another simple summary, but since I did the last one, you want to go for it?
Sure. The book begins. Grundy is lying down in the sewer. Joker finds him. He's worried about him because he's been helping him. I don't know if he's like, it's like a mocking kindness, because I feel like...
The book begins with a joke as well. One of my
Yeah.
favorite features of this thing. You got the joke written down? So I have it right here.
Damn it. Yeah, you
It's
got it.
Someone stole all the toilets from Gotham Central. They don't know how they're going to get on top of this one, or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was,
They have nothing to go on.
That
That was
right,
the joke.
right.
That was
right,
great.
right.
I just wrote down,
Someone stole all the toilets from Gotham Central. They have nothing to go on. How are they going to solve this crime if they have nothing to go on? Ha ha ha.
It was
Toilets. People go on toilets. All right. Now that I've chewed that up, we can proceed with Solomon Grundy.
Yeah,
Defending
he's
the
been...
Joker.
He's got beaten up by Killer Croc. Joker's gonna go avenge his friend, I guess. He's
Yeah.
sort of like... It almost seems like a mocking kindness to me. Like he's just kind of having fun with it, that he likes Grundy.
But when is Joker not
Yeah.
mocking kindness? So that's as kind as Joker gets
Yeah.
right there. And that basically summarizes that whole plot of
he
that.
messes
of
up Killer
that
Croc
portion.
a little bit. There's another pretty good joke in that part where Killer Croc drinks his own sewer water, and Joker's like, I didn't think this plan was going to work. I thought there was no way you drunk the sewer water.
Yeah,
but I guess you do.
He poisons the
Yeah.
water and stuff so that he can
Messes up Killer Croc, get a bag over him.
Yeah. He literally takes
Lights
the
him on
time.
fire.
He booby traps the entire sewer.
Yeah.
Right. And there's like barbed wire and there's a exposed gas main. Anyway, so he takes down Killer Croc. What I wanted to chip in here is that particular story portion of this issue gets intermixed with the other Joker story,
Yeah.
which gets intermixed with the Jason Todd line. So there's
Yeah.
like 3 different characters that we're following over the course of The Man Who Stopped Laughing. And it's all the way that Rosenberg writes the book is he more or less seamlessly juggles each of these stories as he sees fit to introduce.
Yeah, I would agree they're seamless. I just think, due to the fact there's 2 Jokers and 1 Jason Todd, like, Red Hood kind of gets lost in the shuffle in this book.
He is. I don't think he's the focus.
No.
He's the guy, kind of like in Zdarsky's run. He's the Robin that's going to come in eventually and go, I'm going to wrap this up for everybody. Because that's how Joker is going to get taken down. It's got to be Jason Todd, or why would he be in the book
And
anymore?
they bring it up again after a couple issues of it kind of going away, that, like, Joker's like, I'm the real... The one in the sewer is like, I'm the real Joker. You're going to see he's the fake. We have no clues as to either who is real, who is fake. They could both be real.
Yeah, I don't think there is an answer to the question. I don't think we'll even get the answer by the end of this run. But anyway,
Whatever.
Joker's trying to escape LA, or at least the other one.
Still being hunted by Manhunter. The last issue ended with her trying to drown him. She's gonna kill Joker. Some passersby like give her some grief about it. She's like yelling at them, trying to justify her actions, and Joker stabs her with like a glass bottle.
He digs from the LA River that is 4 inches
so it's probably
tall.
disgusting.
Probably, yeah.
So
She's infected now.
for sure. Joker gets away. He keeps going through LA. Manhunter catches up with him. Once again, gets the jump on him. He's about to beat him up. Drury, I wrote his name down.
Killer
That was
Moth!
funny, yeah. Drury Walker.
Killer Moth out of nowhere! Boom! He was in the last
Flies
issue.
right-
He had like a thing where he jumped out of a plane in the
Yeah.
last issue, but we didn't know what the hell that was in the last
Yeah,
issue
yeah.
until this issue. But it makes a lot more sense. It makes the last issue funnier because we find out who it was in this issue in a way.
Yeah, it's a big joke. It's a big joke of a reveal because Killer Moth, of all people, shows
Wow,
up.
Killer Moth!
Yeah.
And,
Takes down Manhunter. Goes to fight the Joker because he's mad at him that Jason Todd stabbed
that's
him.
why he's over there. He got stabbed by Jason
Yeah,
Todd.
he's mad that Joker's been using him as a rube. He's gonna kill the
He
Joker.
comes to kill the Joker.
Yeah. Joker offers him $2 million to instead work for him because he thinks all his henchmen are dead. They go to drag Mr. Waffles
Not
out
even,
of the
I don't
river.
even think specifically because he thinks all his henchmen are dead. More or less just to like make it so Killer Moth doesn't kill it.
I guess.
He's like, you can't. Killer Moth has a line where he's like, "There's no amount of money that you can offer me that's going to change my mind." And Joker goes,
"I'll give you $2 million."
And he goes,
"Oh,
okay."
No, he goes,
"Oh, well, you know."
I thought that line delivery was hilarious.
It was. No, if there's something that's perfect in this book, it's the humor.
Yeah,
it's serious.
No, this book is funny.
The book is driven forward by the amount of humor that's in the book on some level.
Humor and like sadism. It's like almost like a masochistic book. You just watch people get murdered and have fun doing it.
Yeah, and like even further, since since Joker has been trying to escape the Los Angeles for 3 issues.
Yeah,
that's a joke in and of itself.
Yeah, we're making fun.
He can't get out of LA.
Yeah. It's almost like a comedy movie.
And how many times did he say there's no superheroes in LA in the past 3 issues, right? Like,
all the time.
2 or 3 times an issue.
Every time he sees Manhunter, he tells her, "There's no superheroes in LA.
What
are you doing here?" Yeah. It's great.
He's pleading to her in this issue, all throughout the issue, like, "I'm just trying to leave, lady. I'm just trying to leave."
Yeah.
And eventually she's finally just like, "What do you want?" You know, after she puts down Killer Moth real quick.
To leave!
And he just tells her, "Yeah, I just want to leave." And then Killer Moth takes her down again or whatever.
So,
Jason Todd.
Yep, Jason Todd is getting taken to another prison. I think Blackgate.
Yes.
Whatever. They're moving him.
Yeah.
Some random lady walks through, convinces them that she's just coincidentally got in. They tell her to leave. She does, but before, like, she winks at Jason. We learn it's Barbara. She has red hair.
So
she's talking to someone.
I thought it was Harley at first.
Yeah.
The blonde hair and, like, the white makeup and the gloves.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, we're going to bring Harley into the story? I'm all about that. Well, I love seeing Harley as a side character. I can't read her as a main character.
I think she'll show up again. She was in the Jason Todd part of issue 2 or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would have even made sense. So maybe maybe my subconscious is even seeing Harley Quinn eventually showing up here somewhere.
But it's Barbara, and she's talking to someone we don't know. We'll learn in the coming issues.
One of the Bat family for sure.
Yeah. Probably Steph, just because of the role she's already had in the book, I would say.
Yeah, and they the person who thanks her mentions her as Batgirl.
Yeah.
But it almost says, the way they have it phrased, Batgirl is the last word in the sentence and stuff, almost makes it seem like they're making a joke out of the word Batgirl.
No.
It'd be very possible for that to just be spoiler on the other end of things. You know, calling Batgirl Batgirl, who's Batgirl,
calling a fable,
Batgirl,
more or less.
You know, same stuff.
Yep. The issue ends with another pretty good joke. Joker, these kids run into Joker like, "Hey, you're the jokester!" And he signs a grenade for them. And then, as they're pulling Mr. Waffles out of the Los Angeles River so they can take his corpse with them, because Joker just likes Mr. Waffles.
Mm-hmm. He pulls a grenade out of his pocket, too. He's just holding a grenade this whole time.
Unclipped, we find out, because Manhunter goes to help them, and in the background of the page, they're driving away, it explodes.
We don't know that the kids don't know how to use a grenade, or even what is a grenade. So I read it more that the kids started playing with it and declipped it. Because you couldn't, by the way he was holding it, you couldn't tell if it was clipped or declipped or not, or whatever. But it did explode in front of on Manhunter and the 2 kids. Yep. We don't know what happens to them. Not important in the book.
And Killer Moth is driving away. Again, there's a pretty funny joke where Joker's like, "You and Mr. Waffles can take shifts." And Killer Moth's like, "I'm pretty sure he's dead." And Joker's like, "So you can take second shift too."
Yeah, there's constant humor in the book. One of my favorite lines that Killer Moth delivers is after they beat up Manhunter and stuff, Killer Moth goes, "That was intense."
Yeah.
Who the hell was that? Which Joker's been asking her and butchering her name for 3 issues now.
Yeah.
Person hunter, lady killer, whatever it is. It's always a joke on her part. But that basically ends the book. Now it's Killer Moth and Joker, and they're on a cross-country trip to Gotham.
Yeah.
Is what it looks like it's going to be. I don't think they're going to get to a plane. It sounds like the airspace got cut off, I think they said in the issue. So they're driving now, which cross-country trip with Joker and Killer Moth, that's a title I'd read by itself.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So this book is, this particular A story wasn't the best A story that they've given us, but it kept me entertained. It was pretty easy to read compared to some of the other ones, I'd say, because it moved pretty quickly. There wasn't like big jokes. There were a lot of small jokes that kept the ball rolling and stuff, as opposed to oh, I'm watching, Joker unleash hyenas on his own clown men. Let me make sure I'm even looking at this right. Where I have to scan the page to make sure this is happening. Everything that happened in this issue was very Joker believable and pretty stereotypical.
Yeah.
It made it super easy to read compared to like the stuff. Some of Rosenberg's, just the way he has things written and stuff, he really does put a lot into the panels. And it slows you down to an extent because there's a lot of word bubbles, there's a lot of talk, a lot of dialogue in Rosenberg's books, which I have no complaints about at all. But with this, the dialogue was so quick-paced and joke-driven that you got through the A story pretty quick.
Yeah.
What's even more rewarding is you get through that A story and you see that the B story's got Fran Sevilla back.
Yeah.
And the first line in the book that they start open with is, "The Duke of Mayhem is back!" Which is to me a joke that Francesco Francavilla is back, and not only that, but they dropped Brian Cady off of writing credits on this B story too. It's back to Rosenberg or Francavilla.
Yep.
And I thought this one shined a whole lot more than the past 2 or 3, even though I liked the past 2 or 3.
Yeah.
This one was freaking sweet. If I thought the A story was funny, this was cackling level hilarious. Yeah. I'm gonna take the summary here, even though I think I actually barely remember what happens now that I think about it. So that's how does this one start off, Chris? This isn't the one where he's running for president.
Joker is tired of do-gooders, so he wants to explode their heads.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So he in the first page he's being menaced by Hawkgirl.
Yes.
And Hawkgirl's flying around a circus-looking thing, dumps water on his head. And then and the reason why she's there with a bucket of water is he's become a professional for hire arsonist.
Yeah.
And so she's got to come and put his fires out, and there's a joke there. One of the people are like, "Go burn your own house down, Joker!" Because he's burning down somebody else's house or a circus or something. So you flip the page, and it's immediately into this Batman level in the Batcave working on something real hard kind of panel stylings. Yeah. But it's Joker, and he's working on some gizmo or something. There's a great line later, too, where he says, Jackanapes asks him, or not Jackanapes,
Gaggy.
Gaggy asks him, how do you know how to make something like this anyway? And Joker goes, I just guessed. This gizmo is a button on a cool, Batman 66 looking gizmo kind of thing.
Yeah.
And all it is a button, and when he presses the button, anybody good, basically in his peripherals or in front of him, their head goes pop. And when I say it goes pop, it doesn't explode. It goes pop.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily even say it kills anybody. He just wants to make their head go pop. And there's this great pop on onomatopoeia every time it happens. There's no blood at all.
No.
They just go pop. Could this get any better for artistic, funny purposes?
Yeah.
Francesco Francavilla is doing all this on purpose to further the humor in the story that Joker's not doing this to kill people as much as he just wants to keep the laughs going.
And Francavilla's inherently a horror artist. There's this deep
terrifying
dread
background
that you get when he's building this machine, only to have these great, hilarious panels of people's heads disappearing, almost popping like a balloon.
Yeah.
But there's no blood. There's nothing flies out. They just kind of disappear with a comedic poof.
It's very unviolent compared to the stuff that happens in the A story. So Joker goes crazy with this thing. He starts
Aquaman, Superman, Flash.
Well, first
no one is safe.
Starts out with Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Green Lantern's like, "You're a joke," and then he presses the button. He blows Hal Lantern's head. He pops Hal Jordan's head off. And then he goes and he gets Superman, and he goes and he gets Batman and Aquaman and everybody. And there's just there are so many lines in here. There's a part where she tries it on Jackanapes, and it doesn't work on Jackanapes. Jackanapes is like, "Jackanapes am evil?"
Yeah.
Just the delivery on that was fantastic. There's another line that Joker says. He says, "What good is money if all the people that laugh at me still have their heads?" This is great. He says, there's just so many good lines. That's why I'm opening up this book right now. I want to summarize some of the headlines that were on the thing.
Yeah, I totally kept a couple of those.
I wanted to read all of them.
Go ahead.
They were all good. All right, so there's this news broadcaster that is now telling everybody that Joker's running around with a gizmo popping off the heads of everybody good. So as he's telling everybody like what's happening, there's headlines at the bottom. I'll pull the page up, makes it easier to explain. Some of these headlines are: local farmer and wife find pieces of Superman in their cornfield.
Yep.
Powers International stock hits record high following monster fight. Not sure, what that one is in relevance to.
Batman Beyond reference, probably.
But nothing funny, at least.
No.
Whereas alligator of Gotham sewers turns out to be man with a rash. Or Bruce Wayne found dead in Batman costume.
And then
the next one,
has
Batman unavailable for comment.
Yeah.
Because I'm not even going to explain that one. DEO warns potential crisis of infinite Jokers. Wildcats #7 becomes best-selling comic in history.
Only evil people read that book.
That's like triple funny considering you tried to read like that title recently and you were like, I'm not about this.
No, it was not fun.
And then the final one, which Flash is the most annoying? New poll results may surprise you. That's on Barry Allen.
Yeah.
But like he tries to kill the broadcaster because Joker goes into the news studio and
introduced himself as Randolph Joker.
Yeah,
I thought that was great.
There's another not even what that wasn't even.
I think
As a writer, how do you even come up with a joke that good? That's not barely even a joke, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, I think that was what the Joker's twin brother's name was in one of those backups.
That's even funnier.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So this is still the Joker twin
And
that
I don't know-
inherited the Joker.
And I don't know what it is about these B stories, but I have a feeling that it's going to either A, play into the A stories eventually,
Okay.
or B, connect all of the B stories together.
Yeah.
This is going somewhere, I swear. Rosenberg has a habit of telling stories that seemingly are going nowhere for issues, and then out of nowhere brings it all to an amazing close. And you're like, wow, what a masterpiece.
Maybe this is the third Joker, because Zdarsky still has something that hasn't been paid off. The three Jokers were back as of 125.
Yeah, and if he introduces himself as Randolph Joker, maybe there's a Bill Joker and a Bob Joker and a Jim Joker. One of the gimmicks in these B stories is that there are many Jokers in these stories. We know this most of the time. This is probably the only one that actually only has one Joker in it. And stuff. In any case, so he's got this gizmo. He goes and kills literally he pops the heads of everybody, all of the good guys in all of the world by broadcasting it on national TV, and there's nothing but bad guys left. So he's like, I'm going to go and do my thing now, and then I'll never be stopped. Him, Jack, and Apes and Gaggy go and rob a bank. Everybody else is robbing banks. Yeah. They realize that there are no good guys to stop any bad guys, so none of the stuff that they're going to do is going to be any fun anymore. And Gaggy's like, well, what if we become... And his head explodes.
Yeah.
Just because he's in the proximity of the gizmo or whatever. And Joker's like, well, maybe I can still try and make people happy. I'll just tell some jokes. And then you flip the page and it's another splash page that is basically the same exact pose and format and panel layout as the first splash page of the B story, but it's Man-Bat, a villain, now with a bucket of water pouring it over Joker's head, Two-Face in the background yelling at him, and there's now somebody else who's there who's like, what did they say at the end of this thing? I'm going to pull this thing back out.
That's Batman.
Yes, you're right. But in any case, it ends in the same way that it began, which is a joke in and of itself. Yeah. There are literally...
They do that a lot, where these stories are very cyclical, and that's part of the humor, is that they go nowhere.
These things are packed. There's too many good lines, there's too many good jokes to ever just focus on one thing or the other. Okay, this line is, so in the beginning they yelled at Joker, go burn your own house down. This person says, I'm gonna burn your house down, you stupid fucking mime. I wouldn't normally curse on this show, but that line is too good. Yeah. So, boy howdy.
And again, Francavilla is back on art, coloring himself. No one is... his colors are so vivid and strong. The art looks so good.
He's a master of expressions. He's handling a giant gorilla man. And the gorilla man looks terrified, scared, happy, excited, everything. You could do that with humans and the Joker, and sure, but with a gorilla man? Yeah. And even the Joker art changes a couple times in the story. It changes from a Batman 66 looking Joker to a I just put red lipstick on my face Joker, and there's no particular reason for that changes in the Joker drawing and style and stuff. Right. It's just him going even further, I can do with this whatever I want, so let's draw Joker a couple different ways, make it fun. Yeah. Boy, man, I love that book. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's pretty tough to put it before Batman right now, but I guess just because of the culmination of how this Batman book actually begins and ends is really masterful.
Okay.
So I'd say that the B story in Joker was better than the A story, but
Yeah.
Francesco Francavilla.
I think that every issue, except for when Francavilla's on it, like, I think I've said this on the show before, I read that book because I thought the Francavilla stories were hilarious.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
That's what's keeping me going.
In a way, too, by Francavilla leaving for a couple issues, it kind of gave the A story a little bit more room to shine, right? Because then you know that you're not going to love the B story as much, so you're going to read the A story going, okay, well, this is still the story I've been reading, and it's the same artist, and it's consistent. And compliments to D.G. Giandomenico. That dude's line is great. We were talking about it on the way over here. I don't know that anybody could copy a line like that. There are people out there that you can copy Perez and you can copy Mignola and you can copy Byrne and stuff, but I don't see any general path to getting to this guy's line work. It's so weirdly crafted together, but it's really strong. Everything he does is really strong. I just don't know anybody can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, his art is always moving, which is what I liked about him.
He's so much movement. Yeah, even when Killer Croc is in the water, you can see the treads of the water and that he's going through the water. It's really impressive.
Yeah.
Even the subtle panels are impressive. Moving right along.
Yep.
We got Batman 900, 135.
Yep.
They really play down these legacy numbers most of the time, right? And then look at the cover now. Me and Chris got the same cover over here.
Because
900 is the first number on this issue.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing is, too, this Dawn of DC thing. This is literally just like a label strapped to this comic.
Yeah. Well, as part of the Dawn DC checklist, I noticed this because I thought it was funny. They're basically approaching this as a relaunch because they're putting that on their checklist as one of the issues to buy to start out with DC.
That's why I mean that this is literally this is the worst. This is not a starting point. This is a closing point.
No.
It would make no sense for people who are into this Dawn of DC thing to go and pick this book up. Wouldn't make any sense at all.
You'd be very confused.
You'd be so lost. But in any case, who just, you want to summarize? Do you want to summarize? I'll chime in. You summarize?
Sure. So, I'm going to first mention this team because it's pretty big. There's a lot of people working on this book.
Is there? Because I thought that
There's 3 different pencilers.
Right, but okay. So and the 3 different pencilers are.
It's Mike Hawthorne, Mikel Yanin, and Jorge Jimenez.
Okay. Now, in regards to that, I know which pages are Mike Hawthorne and Adrian DiBenedetto.
Yes.
Specifically because we've been dealing with them for 5 issues now or something like
Yeah.
that. I know what Mikel Janin's artwork looks like. He's been in around Batman comics for a decade now, right? He's done Tom King stuff. He's done Grayson stuff. He's done Nightwing stuff. This dude's been all over Batman. I know what his stuff looks like. I know what Jorge Jimenez stuff looks like. Same reasons, right? I've seen him on Batman. I've seen him on Mark Miller books. I've seen Jimenez do all sorts of
Justice
stuff.
League.
For years now, Jimenez has been around DC stuff, doing DC stuff. I know what his line looks like. I don't know. I can only assume, but I don't know who does the art duties for the last third of this book.
That's all Jimenez.
And that's what I was assuming, but the only reason I was assuming it is because he had posted one of those pages, which was the Dark Knight Returns looking one on his Instagram. But I didn't see him post any of the other ones.
He's since posted the Batman Beyond page. That's Bruce Tinney.
Okay.
He's definitely done all of them.
So I like Jimenez. Chris loves Jimenez.
Yeah.
I may now love Jimenez.
We know why Jimenez... Okay.
I knew this guy was capable.
This book is kind of hard for me to summarize because the first half is still really good, but I almost don't want to talk about it.
Let me
the
summarize.
second half is so much more
Let me
interesting.
summarize, you chime in.
Yeah.
Because I think the summary is pretty easy. Red Mask has gone off the deep end further than he usually is. We know that he's some level of a version of the Joker at this point. Batman has finally come to confront him. Batman does so, and into the process, Halliday goes and puts his brain into a machine that is going to help him become the Joker, at least he thinks so. Instead, what it does is it causes appearances of the Joker in other realities. Don't know how that works. This is a science fiction comic book. We are moving along.
Yeah.
So, Batman's trying to pull him out of this machine, and he's not having it because he needs to become the Joker, and he keeps on failing, and what he really doesn't realize is he's actually in the midst of becoming the Joker as we speak. Like, this is the classic situation of Batman comes to approach the Joker before he comes to Joker, and then causes him in some way to become the Joker thereafter.
Right.
So instead of that happening, a weird divergence happens, and instead of that happening, Batman doesn't just cause him to become the Joker. Batman causes a bunch of Jokers, kind of by like feeding into Red Mask's plan to go into the multiverse. Because at the end of the day, Batman does want that to happen so that Batman could go home.
Right.
So that's pretty much what happens. Meanwhile, like Alfred and Selina and Jewel, this multiverse's version of Robin, are fighting off the crowd that has since lost its mind, in addition to trying to save the other people who have not.
Yeah, they're trying to get them into this rich person tower, this like sanctuary they all have in case of emergency.
Alfred was in this tower with a bunch of other relatively rich people in Gotham, the wealthy and what have you, and Alfred takes down the guard, takes down the security, takes down the officers, opens the doors, doesn't give a shit what the wealthy people had to say about it, invites everybody in, and that's when Jewel and Selina start moving all of the people that aren't triggered by this gas already into the tower.
And Alfred has a great line when he's trying to inspire the rich people to like let everyone in. He tells them that money is a shared fiction. Those are real people, goddammit. I love that line. I thought it was fantastic.
I also quoted, "Money is a shared fiction."
Yeah.
It's too true. You could go into anybody's home and take whatever you want. You know, nothing's technically stopping you. You know, it's all a shared fiction and realistic.
Everything's crumbling around. We have to bring up these people that are like in the dregs, bring them up to us, help them out. Otherwise, we're not going to have anything left.
Yeah, well,
much left.
And Alfred speaking from a place of experience because he's dealt with.
He's a humanitarian as opposed to a lot of these people, I think.
What I was going to say
is
he's dealt with a lot of rich people over his life.
Yes.
So he just knows how to talk to these people to make sense.
Not being particularly rich himself, or at least like
I disagree with that.
He is now, but like he doesn't have the same upbringing as these people.
Dead now. And that's part of the story too. Is once Bruce does escape Red Mask, he goes over to Alfred and like offers to Alfred to take Alfred with him back to where he lives. And Alfred turns him down, says that he's got work to do in this version of Gotham or whatever.
Yeah. Alfred figures out that he's dead in Batman's reality and kind of like tries to comfort him. It's like, but you got to move on. I have to move on. My Bruce is also dead. We've been given this like special moment together one last time.
Yeah.
Now we gotta go our parting ways.
Yeah, it's nice and sweet. I probably wouldn't have used the words "figured out." I would have said "assumed."
Yeah.
Because it was a pretty broad assumption he makes out of nowhere too. Because he doesn't know that. I don't think that his Bruce was as deductive reasoning driven as Batman is.
Yeah.
So it would be weird for me to see him make that assumption.
No, but I think Batman is being kind of emotional in that moment. He's kind of like let his guard down. He's like, "Please come with me. I need."
The beats are there,
Yeah.
so it didn't pause me at all too much. But in any case, so
the section where Alfred is bringing in all the people from the streets, that's when McKellian takes over.
Yeah,
so he has a really brief interlude. It looks good, but like we're not going to talk about this very much.
On page 9, on page 10, like you're talking about, that's when that drastic art change happens. It only lasts for 4 pages.
Yeah, I have no idea why.
Mikhail Janine barely is in this comic book. I don't understand why either. I mean, obviously Jimenez had plenty to do, but I don't know why Hawthorne and
maybe
Adrian
behind
keep on doing something happened. In any case, Red Mask really pours himself into the multiverse. Batman follows along.
Batman gets pushed in by Selina Kyle.
Right. Everything looks to be going well.
Yeah,
Red Mask is lost in the multiverse now because he's tricked himself into it, and he doesn't want to be in this world. He wants to become the Joker. So he goes, and there's like a portal now because of this machine or something, which has been sucking the like multiverse juice out of the citizens of Gotham, who have been plagued by leather-winged man-bats who are spreading the red gas virus all over the place. Once they get everybody in, Red Mask is taken care of, everybody's having a good day, Alfred and Batman have a nice little moment, Bruce goes over to Selina to have a similar moment, not gonna happen, gets kicked into this portal.
She tells him, I think this is gonna come up because I'm pretty sure Zdarsky's next story is a Catwoman story, and he's like, you probably make me in your universe very unhappy, is what she tells him, because you like restrict what I can do, I need to protect my empire, and then pushes him into the portal.
Yeah.
So we're setting up some beats for later in their relationship.
Yeah,
with that.
and so at this point, I don't want to say that Batman's constant inner monologue is really good.
Yeah.
There are a couple moments where I'm like, this is a little weird what he's saying, but it always comes back around, and Batman's a strange folk.
Yeah,
so
I really liked the first couple pages is picking up after last where Batman loses his hand. It's just Batman like, got a plan.
He loses his hand. How did I not start off with that?
Yeah. Gotta fix this somehow.
This metal
yeah.
thing onto his arm that
he cauterizes it with electricity. It's pretty cool. And his thoughts are really simple. But he's like, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this.
He finds this like stuff
very analytical
in this Arkham Tower that they're all at or whatever, and he just puts it all on. He's got like a kind of a Mask of the Phantasm hand going on, right? So alright, so Batman gets kicked into the multiverse, and then this is where the summary gets really easy.
Yeah.
He trips hard, acid LSD style, across the multiverse. He goes into so many different panels, so many different stories, that I bothered to write them all down. Let's see if we got them all right.
89, Red Rain, Gotham by Gaslight. I think it's in here twice, actually.
I think you have this out of order.
Okay, sure.
So I did it in order. Panel,
I did too.
Panel for panel. I didn't have Batman 89 first.
It is first.
We're pulling it out, Wednesday Warriors. I think Chris Potter is wrong. Well, I ain't gonna pull it out if you're pulling it. I'll keep talking to the Wednesday Warriors. All right, so but in my lineup, it's this is totally first.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
89.
Yeah, okay, all right. So I missed. This was all right. This is, and the reason why I started making note of this wasn't because of this page. Wasn't because of this page. Turn one more page. I'm gonna pull this up here so you guys can see it. It's because of this page that I started to take notes on what the stories were coming from, because I noticed the styles shift.
Yeah.
In it's one page, 4 different styles. So that's why I didn't pick up on the first one, but I picked up on the second one, which was Red Rain. Then you have Gotham by Gaslight, right?
Yep, I just wrote Silver Age. I don't.
Joker's Wild.
Joker's,
is the name
okay.
of that story. And then there's which he actually like makes a joke about it in the panel.
Oh, More Evil, More Wild. Yeah.
And
BTAZ, Arkham, Batman Beyond, which is sort of the same thing.
It's not called BTAZ.
Batman the Animated
Series. It's called proper.
Sure. Like Dick Sprang after Batman Beyond. I think that's Gotham by Gaslight again.
There's a joke in here somewhere that I quoted that says Robin with Bat Ears Jr. I don't remember where that came from.
I think that's the 89.
No, right here. Right here. So there's so we get to the Batman Beyond universe, which is awesome because
he's doing a really good Bruce Timm imitation.
They have been alluding to Batman Beyond being the conclusion of the main ongoing Batman story for probably a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Scott Snyder did it a little bit. Tom King did it a little bit. A bunch of the writers have done it. Zdarsky's making it for sure. Zdarsky's going, look, Batman Beyond is part of Batman now. This is never going to goddamn change. Pretty sure this is the honest first main title appearance of Terry McGinnis. Super cool that this is in here. But anyway, Joker shows up because what's happening is through the multiverse that he's tripping through, he's like connected to the Joker because of some device or something.
Yeah.
And
they're on the same like trail, I guess.
Right.
They have the same origin point.
And so Joker's also tripping through the multiverse, but his problem is every time he stops somewhere, he creates a Joker for some reason.
Yeah.
And in the Batman Beyond universe, it's the Joker from
Tim Drake.
The Tim Drake Joker from the Batman Beyond movie, and he has this line where Terry goes to fight him, and he says, "Robin with Bat Ears, Jr.," which is pretty good. He also has this long line.
I'm here for
Bruce, which I think was supposed to be Bruce C, but I'll take Bruce. There's no I at the end of there. I think I should have put an I there. But the homages continue after that.
Yeah,
We got Brave and the Bold.
Okay, yeah.
Gaslight again. And look at the way that he's specifically Batman's cowl right there, right? That's totally
I noted this Robin is like a Dick Sprang impression. But
I
might be
which
wrong.
is
Brave
what
and
the
Bold
cartoon is based on Dick Sprang stuff.
Kingdom Come, Injustice, Batman 66.
No. Oh, maybe. You know what I got from this though?
What?
Those cheekbones look like Christian Bale.
And I don't think that looks like Christian Bale.
I don't know. It's hard to determine. We could both be right here.
Yeah.
But Injustice is far more likely. But since we had 89 in there and 66, like the Nolan Bale movies are just as possible.
Yeah.
At this point.
I don't know I feel like these two are just referenced more. I don't know what the license issue is. There must be some, because they don't do, like, Nolan comics. They do 89 and 66 comics all the time.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just that they're too fresh, those movies, and
Yeah.
probably too untouchable to some extent.
Yeah,
89 is not a perfect movie in the way that some of those Nolan movies are.
Or at least some of the writers haven't been directly... The writers that are writing Batman right now didn't necessarily grow up with the Nolan movies.
Sure, yeah.
I grew up with the Nolan movies. If my generation goes to write comics, that's probably what you're going to get a portion of.
Yeah.
But Zdarsky, who didn't grow up with 66 either, definitely grew up with Batman 89. And you can only, you got to homage 66 if you're going to homage 89.
Yeah.
Those are great, iterations of Batman.
And then we end with Frank Miller, which is, in my opinion, the most...
For 3 or more pages.
Yeah, we do a lot.
I wouldn't say it ends, though. What I've started to get after the Frank Miller stuff is, and again, what Weekly Wednesday Wars, all we're doing right now is we're just going through the multiverses that Batman trips through as he's following Joker, as he's following the appearance of Jokers through this multiverse.
Yep.
These are, the different worlds that he's in. These are just names that we're associating to those different worlds. I wanted to say that after this page, or after the Frank Miller stuff, it starts to look a little bit like Capullo.
Okay.
And, because I expected to go, right back to Jimenez right here. But that looks like Jimenez. This doesn't really look like Jimenez to me. Neither do those Sharks, nor do those the Black Borders. Black Borders always remind me of the New 52 series and stuff.
Okay.
Or, the way that Capullo uses...
This panel is very Jimenez.
Or, the way Capullo uses effects, or the way the cowl is drawn right there and right here and stuff.
You should throw up this page. This page is incredible. This is, one of my favorites.
I'd even say, these are, Capullo-isms, too.
Yeah,
The,
the hands are very...
So, I will pull up that page just to, further along the fact that I think he is... he's trying to... I wouldn't say he's doing this chronologically at all, but I think that both Zdarsky and Jimenez are trying their best to homage all the stuff they love about Batman, and I think both of them are fans
I thought
of Snyder Capullo stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I thought the Frank Miller impression was one of my favorites, because it doesn't look quite like Frank Miller. It looks like Frank Miller trying to do Jimenez. Because he's doing... It's almost like Frank Miller inking over Jimenez drawing, because you have the similar lines, but they're not built like Frank Miller characters.
No, yeah, especially
it's inks like Frank Miller.
Panels and stuff. And
those very blobby inks, where he, you can tell, where he just brushstrokes.
Yeah.
And he's sort of feathering into the face by just doing hatched brush lines.
But even the colorist, whoever's coloring this book, is keeping pace with everybody else.
I believe it's
probably
Tony Moore at this point. Maybe it's Fedorio Jr.
In any case,
who also is on Joker, by the way. I was going to mention that we have a shared colorist between this and Joker, and they're both really good.
And I'm never there are a couple times where I'm impressed by the colors in Joker, but it's not every issue.
Yeah,
the colors in here were on point. I'm not saying that they're popping. I'm saying that they were effective in what they were trying to do. I really like the amount of time he spent in the Batman 66 area.
Yep.
Specifically because there was this great shot of Adam West Batman that I'll pull up that Chris is looking at now.
Gives Batman his utility belt.
Yeah.
Because Batman doesn't have a utility belt. He's like, what's Batman without a utility belt?
Yeah.
You gotta have all the gadgets.
And, okay, so this utility belt thing. This goes back to a complaint that I had, 10 issues ago.
Yeah.
When we first started the Weekly Wednesday Warrior, one of the first Batmans that we reviewed, Batman loses his utility belt as soon as he enters the multiverse. We never find out what happens to that utility belt. We're going to leave that alone, but Zdarsky knows that he did that.
Yeah.
And Zdarsky's aware, and
he wants to give him...
Here's his just desserts.
West.
Here's his comeuppance, Adam West.
And Batman throws on the Dark Knight Returns suit. Would you say this is the Bat? I love this Batman costume.
It's an amalgam
keeps
costume.
it. I think,
It's an amalgam.
I love it.
Capullo, cowl,
Yeah.
Dark Knight Returns,
Emblem.
chest emblem, Brave and the Bold color scheme to Silver Age.
Yeah. He's wearing the Adam West utility belt. It's got the Bat logo on the buckle like it has.
Tight Neil Adams skin muscle wear.
Yeah.
Every part of this costume has some level of homage to
I think this is one of the most iconic Batman looks I've seen in a long time.
It just looks really good.
It's fantastic.
Really I really like, and the colorist, again, is doing a really, really, really good job. So anyway, back to the task at hand. He then takes down the Joker, or
He's
Red
fighting
Mask, alternatively.
the Joker in the end of the multiverse. Joker has summoned these giant...
It's a place, it's an empty world that Joker has found and filled with the things that he wanted to fill with.
Okay. He's filling it with giant Joker sharks.
And his cities of Gotham City to terrorize.
Because he's trying to be Joker, and he's not quite getting it. He doesn't get the joke. He's just trying to play on Joker's tropes. And one of my favorite scenes in this book, he goes to dive into this shark, and Batman is like looking at his utility belt, what do I have? And he's like, oh, I finally found a Batman more prepared than me. Because he has this shark repellent bat spray on him, which he uses to take down this gigantic shark. Joker starts, like, making fun of him. Batman knocks out with a single punch, like, back of the hand. It's a great panel. There's a Adam West brack, big, like, sound bubble. It's so cool.
All right, your panel for paneling. It's great.
Yeah,
Put it away. So in any case, Chris is so right. This is totally worth breaking out panel for paneling. This book was excellent. So he pulls out the shark repellent. Shark repellent, if you're a Batman fan, you know that's a long joke in the Batman 66 series. People for years are like, why is that ever going to come? Nobody's ever going to need shark repellent. Zdarsky made some importance for shark repellent. And it's funny how it works, too. Like, it doesn't kill the shark. It doesn't destroy the park. It repels the shark just goes away. It's just like, I'm uninterested now. He's got shark repellent. Yeah. I'm uninterested.
Let's go with his joke.
So he doesn't even defeat the sharks. He just repels them, which is hilarious.
Batman can't beat up animals.
I wanted to point out, too, Zdarsky has written Jughead before.
Yeah.
Okay? And so Zdarsky has a lot of opportunity to play with corny characters. He's done so in other comics as well, himself included.
Yeah.
So when you write a thing like Archie, or any Archie related, that stuff is not dissimilar from the Batman 66 show. So much so, Archie has had a crossover with the Batman 66 show in comic book form. I own a page of that. And it's one of the Joker Jughead pages that are in that series, and it's absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to go into that too much, but Zdarsky has a lot of experience in comics.
Yeah.
And furthermore, he's a fan of these various mediums that Batman has been on. And if that's not clear in the series that he's been writing, with like the Zur-En-Arrh appearance and the like year one kind of vibe.
Oh, I did forget to mention that when Batman, he's like losing track of himself as he loses his hand, and he looks in his reflection, he sees Zur-En-Arrh, he's like, oh crap, the protocol is activating. Because he's like, so he's on a time limit now. He's like, I'm losing myself because I'm in too much danger.
Okay, and I don't think I even picked up on that. This book moves pretty fast on top of that. That's why I thought the summary was fairly simple. He defeats Red Mask. Red Mask is, I don't know what happens to Red Mask.
Lost in the multiverse,
I guess,
probably.
Well, he starts talking about, no. He starts talking about how he got this disc from old Bruce Wayne and Batman Beyond.
Right, yeah.
The disc is going to get him home somehow. And he's like, I got one disc, there's two people. I can't send myself back, that's not what Batman would do. I gotta send Red Mask back. Yeah. He sends Red Mask back, and he's like, now I don't know what's gonna happen. I certainly hope, like, what happens when Batman falls? I'd hope that Robin, and then you turn the page and Robin shows up, is there to save him. Which has been the backup story's payoff.
Great yellow coloring. Everything is all bright and happy. Batman and Robin and
he's got Robin's got the new suit with the R, like shooting out the light and stuff. So it's perfect, miraculous kind of coloring and stuff like that. And that's where our issue ends.
Well, you flip the page and it's the Zur-En-Arrh of the multiverse. It's various Batmans of Zur-En-Arrh.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't necessarily. The story ends there, but there is a big splash page to show you what's going to come.
And that's why I commented on the colors, because it's yellow to purple in quick succession, very jarring as colors.
Yeah.
And it's like everything's safe, everything's happy. Maybe not. What's going on here? Because we don't know. It's not even Batman is Zur-En-Arrh. All the Batman are Zur-En-Arrh. We see Dick Sprang Zur-En-Arrh, Batman 89 Zur-En-Arrh.
They just make some of them up, literally. Like there's a Batman Beyond version and stuff. Which is why Batman Zur-En-Arrh is over here on our table here today.
Yeah, Zdarsky clearly loves that.
He's a cool dude. That costume is just awesome. I love that damn costume.
That's
it's so cool. But so that's where the issue ends. And I wanted to ask Chris, what was your favorite Jimenez portion of this Batman issue?
I thought the Frank Miller one was the most impressive.
You thought so?
Yeah.
I thought, and this may sound ridiculous, but I liked the Batman animated series panel.
Oh, they were very good, yes.
No, the one. There was only one. And the reason I liked it is because you got, alright, Batman animated series, not that difficult of a style to clone. That's kind of half the purpose of that animated series.
Yeah.
They were able to budget this Batman show in a way that it saved them money in the way they were formatting the animation and stuff. Mm-hmm. So the style is meant to be simple so that anybody can put it down. It doesn't take a lot to do that, but in that panel, there is our Batman, who's been in a different costume, in different light, and Jimenez goes and draws like a portion of that costume into a panel. I thought that was a real treat. And also seeing Jimenez, I guess I have to kind of say, dumb down his style to approach the Batman animated series. You know, in comics, usually you have a lot more time to showcase your own talents and abilities and stuff, right? So in order to like try to copy something out of an animated series, you have to simplify your line.
And I'm gonna say, there's a lot of really good comic artists who can't replicate the shapes Bruce Timm uses to create those characters. I think I was reading some animated series where John Byrne was trying to do an impression. Didn't do a bad job, but he's doing John Byrne's animated series.
Right.
Here, Jorge Jimenez is really drawing the animated series perfectly. It looks, I mean, besides like the coloring job, which if it was more painterly, it would look perfect, just because of how that series was made.
Yeah.
But besides that, all the shapes are good. I'm going to shout out the Batman Beyond panel, because that is also
That's more than
a
a
thing.
panel. That's like 2 or 3 pages.
Specifically the panel of Terry McGinnis
Okay.
in the middle of that second page.
Yeah, okay.
Again, getting those shapes right, getting the look of that series just perfectly, because he's aping the Bruce Timm version, not like the Tim Seeley, Will Conrad
The
stuff.
thing I thought was lacking in that was the way he drew Old Wayne.
Yeah, it was not great.
That's why it's not my favorite, is because I think he could have figured that out a little bit more.
Yeah.
But
I also really appreciate his looks of 89 and 66, because those are the most Jimenez-looking versions, because he's just trying to make like a realistic character. His style is fairly akin to that. So yeah.
I don't really have any notes that we didn't tackle by just doing the summary here, to be honest with you. There's nothing to take away from this book, really, just because it's the conclusion of a long series, and the only thing that we're left off on is questions of where the Zur and R story is going to go. We pretty good week of comics, huh?
Yeah, this was fun.
You got any last notes or anything? I feel like we sped through these summaries.
I'm gonna say this is the first time I found Mike Hawthorne laughing. That's just because Roy Meadows was in the issue.
Poor dude.
A couple of panels where like there's some pretty stiff action of when Batman's like fighting. I don't know what her name in this universe is. The Punchline.
Yeah.
I thought the action was really stiff. Gets to the Jimenez page and he's doing these incredible perspective shots, incredibly energetic shots of Batman moving.
Not even. You get to the Mikkel Janine page and you go, "Good God, where has this guy been?"
I thought the Mikkel Janine page was pretty. I wouldn't say it's lazy.
4 pages.
It was not the best I've seen Janine. I thought his face were a little.
No,
weird.
because he's clearly just filling in.
Yeah.
But I'd still say that 4 pages of Mikkel Janine I'd prefer had done the past 6
Oh,
issues
yeah.
over Mike Hawthorne and Adrian DiBenedetto. I got nothing against these guys.
No, they did a decent job.
Did a fine job, but it's just not what I'm looking for in my Batman comic.
Yeah.
Mikkel Janine is. Clayman is on my variant cover. Jimenez definitely is, you know. I'd love to see Zdarsky bring Chichetto over to Batman once.
I've seen
Daredevil is done.
Chichetto's Batman. It's so good.
I've seen his Moon Knight. That's close enough.
Yeah.
I guess we're all done here, huh?
Might as well be. Yeah.
All right, Weekly Wednesday Warriors. Thank you for watching. We'll be doing another issue of Shonen Jump later this month, probably in a week or 2. That'll be the May 2003 issue.
Yep.
Issue 5 or 4? I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
That's 5.
But yeah, follow, subscribe, like, do all those YouTube things. Keep us going. We'll see you next time.
I'll go.